Hi folks, it's Nick here. We're on the ZX Spectrum 48K looking at a Pacman clone called Gobbleman. So yes, very inventive there. Published by Artic Computing in 1982, and I don't think it's been licensed by NAMCO, who did the original arcade cabinet in 1980. So we'll see how this one plays, but blatant copy of Pacman. So yes. Am I looking forward to this? Well, it's about 50-50. Author Simon Wadsworth. Does that say? Right, top goal scorer is Phil, or point scorer. Let's go. Right, it moves quite fast. I'm this yellow Pacman creature. The maze is quite big. Those ghosts are going around at random, I think. There's 4 of them. Power pills in red. When we get those, we can attack these other ghosts, which move at the same speed as you, it looks. Yes, well, it's of an era, isn't it? I find it a bit hard to steer when I get to the junctions. Now, Pacman did come out properly by Atari Soft in 1984 on the Spectrum, so 2 years after this one. And that's a bit of a flaw, isn't it? Man, you just... Right, okay, so I just seem to be turning up again right next to the ghost, so that's a bit bad. But as I was saying, the actual real conversion of Pacman come out by Atari Soft in 1984, and they also did Miss Pacman the same year, and I love both of those, particularly Miss Pacman. This one, yeah, as a kid you would have found it okay. It is Pacman, but it's a lot better by Atari Soft. So let's just see how far I can get. We'll try and complete a whole maze. It was of an era where you could do lots of clones and not really get sued by the main holders of the license, and now it's completely and utterly different, of course, because big money is involved. At this sort of time, it was a lot of hobbyists doing games, and it wasn't as big as it is today. Of course, the market was just getting started. So if I was to bring out a game called Eater Man, I'd probably get sued straight away, and I couldn't actually list it anywhere. Right, so these ghosts are going around at random, I think, rather than chasing you. A bit of a high-pitched sound when the ghost gets you, so sorry if you're wearing headphones. You might have to turn the sound down a little bit or take them off for this bit, because that is a very high-pitched sound when the ghost kills you. When you hit the pills, they are flashing using the Flash 1 feature, but it moves fast, I'd have to say that for it. And am I going to complete this? I think you need a different strategy to this than the real Pacman, because the ghosts don't particularly go after you, I don't think. No, it's just random movements. I think sometimes it pays just to wait where you are, just to see where these ghosts are going to go. I think we're going to get off stage 1, aren't we, here? Now, I don't know if the maze is going to change... Ah, man, I don't know if the maze is going to change colour when we get off level 1. It's just going to start again. You see my lives represented by the bottom right. We've got none left after this. Come on, let's do this. 2 dots left to get. 1 left. Boom. So there's a special effect for you, isn't it? So this game isn't going to be... well, this review isn't going to be huge because we've seen all the gameplay straight away. It's a little bit frustrating. No fruit is turning up like the original Pacman game. Like, you get the pills, but there'll be bonus points in terms of pineapples, cherries will turn up. This game doesn't look like it's got that, so it's very basic indeed. But what did you expect? It is 1982, and Artic Computing did a lot of games round about this time. I don't know if this was a proper commercial release or it was a type-in. I think it might have been a commercial release. Looks slightly beyond type-in technology. But what do I know? 1982, so very early. The ZX Spectrum 48K was released in 1982, and the 16K as well. So yes, it ties into that sort of time. And if this game had come bundled with a computer, it didn't, but I wouldn't have been disappointed. Would have kept me occupied as a kid for quite some time, really. It's Pacman, and it's in your living room, and it's in 1982, so not bad. A lot of the time when you're reviewing these games, you have to bear in mind the era they come out on. You can't be overly cruel, because they can only compete with the technology and what was around at that time. So compared to modern day game, it'd be quite easy to slate this, but you know, you've got to have a bit of your retro nostalgia goggles on, and as I say, if you had this back in the day as a kid, you might have some warm memories for it. Did any of you watching this have this as a child? Gobbleman. It's a name I've only just first heard of when I did a look up of it. There's a few Pacman clones about. We probably won't cover too many of them. There is a type-in one called Chomper, which come out on 60 games for the Spectrum, which I've actually got. So whether I can type that one in or not, I think all of those are available on World of Spectrum site anyway, pre-done. Nothing special, but at the day it was just typing in programs and trying to learn it as a kid, and you did pick up the odd bit here and there. Right, can I do this twice? I don't know. So there's a white ghost, a magenta ghost, a cyan ghost, and a green ghost. They haven't actually got names or anything. And they move, a lot of things moving on the screen at the same time. A little bit flickery, but who cares? It's put together well, this one. So a solid Pacman conversion, although not the best. Now do check out my review. It was quite some time ago by Atari Soft of Pacman and Mus Pacman. I've also reviewed Pacmania on the ZX Spectrum. That's like a 3D version by Grand Slam rather than Atari software. So there are quite a few Pacman games. Try and ignore Pac-Land. That's not great. They tried to take Pacman out of the maze to create a different game, and it doesn't quite work. Pacman as a jumper and platformer is no good. It's best to keep him to basics, really, in a maze, doing what he does best. One criticism of this, and it is a criticism really, it's a bit harsh, is I'd like the maze to change colours. As a kid with these Spectrum games, sometimes although the games were staying the same, you did get a bit of a kick when it changed colour the next stage. It gave you a sense you was actually getting somewhere, and you was quite keen to keep playing on to see what colour it would change next time. Yes, things do change. A kid wouldn't stand for that nowadays, but you know, technology comes forward. Your own views and stuff is based on what's happened before. But we've grown, if you're a similar age to me, we've grown through a computer revolution, which is still arguably going on. Well, it's going to slow down, but never did it go as quickly from the 80s to like maybe the early 2000s. That's a huge jump forward from this 8-bit technology to where we are now. Oh no, I'm getting killed every 2 seconds here. So we might call this the last go. Got 2 lives left. Ugh, I said that. Gobbleman. He's called that because he gobbles pills. Don't you do that. That's bad advice. Right. When you get the power bill, like any Pacman games, you can eat the ghost for a limited amount of time. I am missing the fruit though. They could have programmed that. It's a little bit lazy, but anyway. I'm sure there was a reason behind why they didn't. Game over again. Yes. The high score is Nick. I wonder who that is. I said last time was my last go, but I want another go. We'll give it one last chance to get a bit of decent length on this review, then we'll say goodbye. Well, not quite yet though. So live represented by the Pacman in the bottom right. That Gobbleman text there, and Artic Computing flashed through the colours. He didn't need that. That's not too easily on the eyes. Probably not over healthy looking at that for any length of time, so they didn't need that there. Pretty there isn't an option to turn that off really, so mark down for that sort of thing. But it was a different era, you could do what you want. And I do love the Horace games. If you look at the opening screens of those, it's enough to make you go insane. I think that's when a point where epilepsy wasn't really known about and fits. You don't want to be looking at that for any length of time. So this compared to that is nothing. Right, gobble, 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 gobble. Pacman, of course, the start of the obesity epidemic in the whole world, I'm sure. 2 lives left. Go on, Pacman. Yeah, so it's best when you materialise as a new life, it's probably best to wait there for a while. Otherwise, you're just going to run into the ghost straight away. Let them go in their own direction before they all split up to go wherever they want. Yeah. They're sort of like random but not random at the same time, if that makes any sense. Score 5070. Is that good? Possibly. Oh man, I'm dying every 2 seconds. I think my mind is trying to get me out of this game quicker. So I think we'll leave that there. I can't really show you any more of this than I have done already, as I put my name on the scoreboard. So I hope you liked having a look at that for historic purposes, and to have a look at Pacman clones. That was Gobbleman on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Artic Computing in 1982, and based on the arcade cabinet by NAMCO in 1980. Got any thoughts about this game, any memories, any similar games, or anything retro, then by all means put that below. Creates a bit of activity on the channel there. Huge thank you to everyone that's subscribed. If you like what you see and you haven't already, please consider doing so, because that helps a great deal. If you want to help it a bit more, it's patreon.com/njenkin. Every bit really does help. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.